give us an update, that'd be great.
Sure. Hi, I'm Nagarjuna Agari, my wife Payal Yadav. Just continuing the application process since we last discussed 2 weeks back. I believe one of the items last week was the current addition that's been permitted and approved did not seem to reflect online the change from removing the two-car garage to just being a regular room. I followed up with my contractor and he spoke with the inspector. He said apparently it was already updated at that time, but he confirmed it should be in the system right now, and I believe a plan was also uploaded to the variance application, just so you could refer to it. Can I confirm that you have that?
Yep, we have it.
Okay, thank you. That was it?
I think the second item was the rendering still showed a walkway or the pathway to the back, which we have uploaded on the variance request, and I have a copy also. So it does not show any pathway. There is no garage in the back, so that's also uploaded.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We did that earlier today.
Yeah, I guess we really don't have
Sure.
anything more.
That's fine. So we can start with some questions and we'll go from there, all right?
Sounds good.
Jeremy, do you want to start? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, so I saw what you uploaded without the garage doors on the right side on the playroom/gym.
Yep.
Were there any changes or alternatives for the two-car garage you've looked at or have? Because I know we discussed some options last time.
Yeah, no, we don't see any other feasible option. And again, just so I can list the reasons why we ended up here, we do not have any space to the right of the existing garage to build. The current home already is pretty close to the setbacks there. I have literally 4 feet or plus, 4 to 5 feet remaining. As you're aware, we did intend, when we started the permitted and approved project, to build a two-car garage in the rear. Subsequently, we realized the turn radius is not going to be sufficient, leaving us with an inefficient garage setup, which is when we started the variance process, because the only other option is to build it to the left, and we are short of 3 feet, 3.4 to be precise. And again, had the property been 3 feet to the right, we would really not be in this situation. It's just unfortunate, at least for us, in the way it is laid out. And we really do not have any other options to build a two-car garage without significantly, changing the entire home layout, which is not a feasible option.
Sure. Okay, Jeremy?
I think that's it for now, yeah.
Thank you.
Jeff?
So I had asked you before about, did you look into the groundwater and stormwater bylaws? Did you speak to the building department about that at all?
Yes.
Yes, we spoke to the contractor who did speak to the building department, and he said that's not an issue.
So it is an issue if you were to do this. So the bylaw just changed this year.
We did check with him the very next day, and he
Yeah.
spoke with the inspector.
So I spoke with conservation today.
Okay,
I spoke with planning about it.
okay,
So the current addition you're putting on is roughly 550 square feet.
Okay.
So 750 square feet is the limit. When you go over 750 square feet, let me pull it up there. Alterations, renovations, additions to existing buildings or dwellings and/or separate buildings or dwellings that increases the building and dwelling footprint by more than 750 square feet in the lot makes you subject to Article 16, the amendment of the zoning bylaw, distance from basement, slab, and crawl space and groundwater. So, give me a second, I gotta get to the part where I gotta read it. Slab elevations of any building or dwelling shall not be lower than the estimated seasonal high ground water table, and shall be determined by a licensed soil evaluator. So, you're aware of all that. It changes your whole project if you were to do this, because you go over the 750. So in addition to that, you also have the new stormwater bylaw that came into effect as well. An increase of more than 10%, so I'm gonna paraphrase this, and that's more conservation to be doing that with you. But the driveway is considered impervious surface, the additional driveway you'd be putting on that. So you're aware that you had to comply with all of that if you were to go through?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, sure, last we checked, it didn't seem to be, but I guess you have more
Yeah.
updated information than we do, and
So
if,
the original edition didn't need to meet any of those because you were under the requirement.
okay,
So this requires more.
Sure.
Just wanted to make you aware of that.
okay, thank you.
The second question I have,
I don't have the plan
what is the hardship?
for the other, for this.
The hardship is that we cannot build a two-car garage without requiring a variance.
So like we explained that if the 4.5 feet, which is on the right, if it was on the left, we wouldn't be here
We would
because
have-
we just.
We would
needed
be
3.5.
within our, we would be within our limits to have built this.
Just because it's not laid out in the same
So the ha-
fashion that we can use it, that's why we are requesting a variance.
That is the hardship. It's just that we just inherited something that wasn't ideal.
Okay, I'm gonna hold the rest of my questions for everyone else.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Mark, any questions?
So, we discussed this last time, right, the whole issue of meeting the requirements of the statute,
Sure,
and specifically the hardship.
okay.
And so, after, I'm sure you investigated that, what do you say the hardship is that's connected to this property? What is the,
So the hardship is that we cannot really build without taking your approval. We would like to have a two-car garage. We are not able to build.
I apologize for interrupting you, but that's not the way the statute is framed. You need to have a hardship that is connected or to the land, right, to the topography of the land, the shape of the lot.
It is, right? That's exactly what I'm
The
saying.
4.5 feet is on the other side, sir.
No, but.
If it was this side,
I
then-
get that, but before you make that change.
Yes.
To your property, in the sense of a remodel or renovation or anything, then you've got to show a hardship to get the variance. All right, I don't know.
I mean, how can I explain a hardship?
Maybe I'm not explaining it properly. I'm gonna defer to the chair on this, because
Sure.
he's brighter than I am.
Definitely not. So a hardship is owing to the shape and topography of the land. So for example, if you had like ledge on the right side of your house, that was too expensive to remove, then that would be a hardship to have it on the left side of your house, even if you were maybe infringing, theoretically, right? So, because you need a two-car garage doesn't necessarily meet the hardship standard as according to Chapter 40A, Section 10. In my opinion, and it sounds like maybe a couple of the other boards. I'd like to let Joe talk first before I go through any of my questions, but I'd definitely like to see you consider reducing the size of the garage down to 20 feet. It would be basically a half a foot of a variance, and I think that 20 feet's still enough for a two-car garage. But while you think about that, I think that Joe might have some questions. We can go with him.
So the existing garage on the right-hand side, I thought I heard it mention that garage door is being closed in?
It's not.
No, it's not?
No,
Okay, that's gonna maintain a garage and maintain a driveway on that side?
yes.
And then we did discuss, taking the left side and taking that down to 20 feet to eliminate, a lot of the setback issue over there. Cut back on some impervious pavers and things like that, but it's, you're saying your hardship is you need a two-car garage, well, you have a garage. So how would you, that's not a hardship. You have an existing garage you're not eliminating. So you
Sir,
can-
we're also trying to do the right thing for what we need, what serves us better in the long term in terms of home value, as we're putting in significant amount of capital into this project. I'm sure you know all new homes are three-car garages these days. It's a normal thing to have. We have a growing family. My son will be pretty soon in high school looking to drive his own car. I think it makes perfect sense for us as a family to have a three-car garage. And 20-feet garage is just not an ideal garage size. If we just go out and look, we would just be spending all this money and cutting short us of like 3 feet. And again, I don't quite justify the hardship in the way you're trying to understand, but the real hardship for us is that we are just in an unfortunate situation where,
Can I add something to this?
Sure.
Okay, so I would say, after having looked at your plot plan,
okay,
I'd say that potentially the argument could be made because of the placement of the home on this particular lot, because of the configuration of, that you could say potentially that it was connected. Now, the other members may differ, but I think that you have certainly a plausible claim, right? That because of the way the home was originally
Exactly.
placed on the
Yes.
property, that your hardship could be due to that, so.
You said it better than us. That's exactly the
I don't know, I
hardship.
don't know how persuasive it is, but I leave that to the rest of the crew here.
And that's why we are also kind of trying to say that, like you rightly said, how the configuration is for the house as it is built. If it was 4.5
the
feet to the
middle.
right,
Then you
Then-
probably wouldn't have this problem.
yeah, we wouldn't be here then, because then we just need 3 feet out of that 4.5 feet, which is on the
I
other
don't know,
side.
I'm not a math person either. I leave that to this gentleman over here, these two guys. They're the smart guys on this crew, all right? So they need to do the calculation. If that house was placed, even Joe, he could do this, he's in this business as well. If it was placed in the middle of that rectangular lot, would that make a difference? Would that make a
I'm going to add on to that and say it didn't even have to be in the middle of the lot. If it was literally 3 feet to the left of where it is right now, I would have,
No, I understand that, but
Yes.
would that make enough room for the setbacks on the other side? You see what,
If the house was,
if it was
Yeah.
placed, you see, you've gotta
Yeah, yeah.
meet both,
right,
you've gotta meet all the setback requirements, the density requirements, so. I don't know whether you want to, do I sound, does it sound reasonable, my friend, or no?
I think you could certainly make an argument for it.
I don't think it changes
Yeah.
anything. If you center, you're only talking 3 feet.
Yeah, still need to make it smaller by a little bit.
No, that's my question.
Yeah.
Would you still need to make it smaller if it was placed like?
If the house was centered in the lot,
If it was centered in the lot.
if the house was centered in the lot, they wouldn't even be, they'd be able to do the original addition just
That's
fine.
my point. That's my
But
point.
if it was centered in the lot, they would need, the garage would be in the neighbor's yard.
But if you centered this footprint in the lot, is that what you're
That's
saying?
what I'm saying.
Where if
Centering
you
that footprint would still require a variance.
Still,
Would it,
pick
would
4
it,
feet from this side and put it to this side,
It'd
'Cause
be
you
like,
got
it'd be a
15A,
six,
it'd-
it'd be like you said, a 6-inch variance. You already did the math clearly.
okay, all right,
so,
so,
so, Joe, do you have anything else for now? Or-
Not right now.
So, my only real comment at the moment is that I would be more comfortable with this if we brought it down to 20 feet. You guys could figure out how you want to do the doors, whether it's one big door like we had suggested last time, or 2 smaller doors. I still think that 20 feet, you can get 2 cars in there. Will it be a little bit tighter? Yes, but it would make me feel more comfortable with the, only the 6-inch variance that we need, or even less than 6-inch.
we need 3.4.
0.4, yeah, so 0.4 inch, or 0.4 feet variance. Would make me feel a lot more comfortable voting to approve that. I don't know what the rest of the board thinks.
I would be on board with that.
Likewise.
So the doors will not even open if you're in the garage with the 19
We also have a chimney there,
chimney there.
the house. We're,
But the chimney was on the opposite side.
No, it's on.
no, it's on the side where we want to put the two-car garage. It's on the side.
It will be very hard to open the
20
doors, and
feet
you'll
will-
always have a risk to kind of bump into the wall, so.
We have
And
to have a
everyone-
landing there anyways to get your egress inside, so you got a 3-foot landing, 3x3 landing, right? So that's gonna protrude out more than your chimney, so it's, you can't really say the chimney's affecting anything.
The chimney is gonna be in the garage, the way we have to do it is.
Is it on the same side as what my brother is saying here, in terms of,
Yeah, they're gonna
In terms
have
of
to, they're gonna
accessing
have to access the
the
house
whole
on the
house.
same side.
right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then your argument that the chimney is interfering with the plate, the car coming into the garage,
It's not with the car coming into the garage, it just makes the 20 feet even more tighter in terms of
When you open the doors.
we're
to
just
get out
gonna
of the
risk
car.
damaging the car more easily at 20 feet.
Not to get into the garage, it was after you get into the garage, and if you open the door, the fact that
Right,
chimney
right,
is
right.
right there, it
I
can.
got you.
And I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Jim.
So in the drawing we have, the garage isn't on here.
Yeah.
So is there an entrance from the garage into the house, and where is that? Because I actually thought what I now understand is the chimney was your entrance.
No, no,
was the
Hold on, no,
access.
I think, so that drawing reflects the current permitted addition. That's not,
With
Right.
your addition in the back, yes.
yes. We had a plan to make an opening from that, what is now the playroom, which was previously the garage, into the existing garage. We had a plan, not there.
no, but that's what I think you're asking. You're asking how, in the new addition that we are
Yeah.
How will we
proposing,
do it?
that
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
on the, in behind, where the
So you have the
window is.
chimney up front, so behind the chimney.
Behind the
Window,
yeah.
Where you have the windows.
Yeah, we are gonna,
So you access from the basement.
yes,
There'll be a doorway from the basement, that's
yeah,
what we're asking.
yes, yeah.
And so, Joe, you mentioned about 3 feet of egress.
Well, you need a 3x3 landing to get in or out of, your egress.
The garage floor height can't be the same as the basement floor
It
height,
won't,
correct?
it won't be, yeah. They won't pour it up that high.
And so that egress, is that,
You're gonna have to step up.
yeah, is that egress considered in a 20-foot garage then? I just want to make sure we've got that. Not sure.
So
you
Jeremy, is
consider
your
egress?
question that whether it's, a 20-foot garage is something that meets,
Yeah, a door's a door, you need.
Yeah,
a
either way,
3x3
either way
landing
you
to
need
step
a-
on there.
Something, yeah.
we're getting off track.
Yeah, that's right. How far does that chimney protrude?
2 feet.
2 feet?
2 feet.
I don't know, I still think that you can make it work if you want to, especially with the other garage on the other side. So,
Yep, we've done them before, so.
I mean, we would still request you to consider, I mean, like we are always saying that if it was on the other side, we wouldn't require this for a convenient garage. Again, nowadays people make garages 24 by 24. We kind of cut down to 23 by 23 so that we kind of still respect 4.5 feet that is on the other side, kind of still try to stay as, as much as possible, which is convenient and still kind of using what we have with the stair and everything.
yeah, so, I am probably, I don't make the motions, but I would say that I would not probably vote for a 23-foot wide garage at this point. You only need 4 out of the 5 of us to, actually, yeah, you're voting on this one, right? So, you only need 4 out of 5 of us to vote yes. So, really, what we could do is, we could vote, well, if somebody was gonna make a motion for the 23-foot and it failed, then that would be it. That would be the end of it. I think it sounds like most people would be amenable to a 0.4-foot variance. And it sounds like that might go through from what I'm hearing. So if somebody makes a motion for a 23-foot wide
So what did
garage,
you say, what will be acceptable, 0.4-foot variance?
a 0.4-foot variance, so you'd have
Which
a
is-
20-foot
Which is
wide
what,
garage.
yeah, there you go.
It'd be 20 feet by 24.
It doesn't give us anything. At that point, we would have as well not done this whole thing and built a 19.6. You really are, you really have to see the problem we are having at hand. We wouldn't really be here if the lot was just 3 feet on the other side.
We would have just built it, like, nobody would have come here. We came here with the intention and, what will work for us. It would not give us anything, sir.
So you see the conundrum we're having here. We have to decide based off of what the requirements of hardship are. And we're kind of trying to spell out for you, without saying it, what will work.
But
If you want us to just vote at 23 feet, I can make a motion to vote as written. Is that what you want to do?
See, then you potentially lose your right.
You
to
can't come back for 2 years, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
this just doesn't sound fair.
We're trying to work with you here.
Yeah,
We're not,
This is the laws are there for a reason, right? Just like the bylaws are in.
Yeah, we totally respect that, and I thought we have a very valid reason. We really do not have any other option.
And we still, like, if you count the 4.5 feet that side and 19.6, we are still within, like, the bounds. It's just that it's not on the same side.
I'm gonna be very blunt with this answer, and I'm sorry if it comes off rude. Saying you don't have any other option, you do have another option to not do it at all, is the thing. And I'm sorry for saying it so bluntly like that, but you have the option to not do anything at all.
So may I ask, do you have a two-car garage at your home?
Yes, I do.
Would you prefer other people having that?
It doesn't matter whether people have a two-car
No,
garage
it
or
doesn't
not. That's a preference. That's a preference, not a right.
It's a
You have the right to appeal. That's why you're here. We want to work with you. We want to see what we can do within the law of how we're allowed to make decisions. We can't just give out a variance based off of what someone wants. And I think we're on two different wavelengths with that. We really want to work with you. That's why we all volunteered to be on this board, because we believe in working with people.
22. Can we do
Can we
22?
2.4 at least for the chimney, the 2 feet of chimney? Can we just do 2.4, sir? At least give us the 2 feet, the chimney which is there in the steps which will be built. It will be like right in the way. At least give us 2.4 in that case.
What do you think about that?
I'm already, I
Yeah.
would vote
Yeah.
for
Fair enough.
it. You guys need to be persuaded.
I would really request to consider 2.4. That gives us at least some leeway with the chimney and the stair which will be built.
What do you think? We gotta do it.
Can we go into executive session?
No.
No?
No.
Gotta go to the public.
Yeah, I still gotta open up in public. So why don't I do that while we think about it, all right? So, this is a public hearing. Is anybody here to speak for or against this application? If you can come up to one of these microphones.
Is this usually telecasted?
Yes,
Okay,
it is being telecasted right now.
okay.
Seeing nobody? Is there a motion to close the public
Motion to
hearing?
close the public hearing?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anybody have any comments on the, increasing it a little bit.
I have no objection.
Yeah.
I have no objection, especially once we talked about the chimney.
So, what is the actual math?
So it would be 20. Well, I'm asking we go down to 20. They're asking for the 2 feet of the chimneys, so it would be 22 essentially, right? So it would be 1.4 feet.
2.4.
No, so
We have to do it in
Yeah.
the opposite. So it's 23.
It's more like
It's
you have
almost,
a 20-foot
that's 6
garage.
inches. It's 6 inches off of what it currently is, at 22.4.
Yeah. That's a little.
That's, I think the 20-foot feet is more than reasonable going down to a 6-inch variance. I can't see splitting in the middle there. The 6 inches is what we get if the house was more centered in the lot.
But they could have built all the way from the exact setback. And that would also have,
You'd be at 19.5.
if the house that you see on the plot, on the left side, where the existing garage is, if the house was 4 feet left of that, leaving the 15-foot setback, we would have exactly 4 feet we needed to build the 2-car garage this side. Right, that's exactly the problem we have, unfortunately. We wouldn't even have to explain why we want to have 2-car garage, why we need to have a 2-car garage. The laws would have just allowed us to do it. It's just, had I been even aware of such complications, probably it would have changed us in purchasing this home in the past and continuing to decide to live in Burlington. We are invested here. Even the contractor we hire, he's from Burlington local. We are investing in the local community. Again, I'm sure it doesn't matter in the context.
Sure. Yeah, I understand, you want to do what's best for your house, in your investment. Certainly understand that. I think that the 22 feet is too much. I think that if I'm at 20 and you're at 22, if we can go out at 21, I would be fine with that. It sounds like Jeremy and Mark would be as well. It would just be up to a couple of other people.
So you
21 would be, what,
can
12,
compromise.
12.6?
So it would be a
13.6.
13.6.
13.6.
So it would be a 1.4-foot variance. I think on the other side, I'm doing my math right, total variance would be, the total on both sides, if we were to look at it that way, it's like 30.4, so it would really only be, like a 1 foot between both sides. I think that's a fair compromise, but,
There you go.
I don't know if there's any other comments or,
I have no objection to that compromise.
so before we make a motion,
Yeah,
I think that we should just make sure that the applicants are aware that if we were to make this a motion for 21, still not really sure if you would get it or not. 20, it sounds like you definitely get it. 23, I think everybody has a problem with or most people have a problem with the 23 foot garage. So, I'm going to kind of leave it up to the applicant. Are you okay with the 21 if we were to compromise on that? You don't know what's going to happen with the votes, apologize that this is the way it
You
goes.
also have to go to conservation, and they still have to approve you doing it too.
We'll work through that. This is the problem we got to live with. And if I may say, it appears like this has come down to like a negotiation in terms of how much variance we can request for. To me, at this point, it felt like if I would have asked for 24, you would have settled down to 22.
Well, the negotiations, you have no hardship, basically, so
We're creating, well, creating.
We can
We're
deny it
going off
because
what
there's
we
no
can-
hardship. We're working with you with no
Just trying to
hardship.
work with you to make us feel
2
comfortable.
feet for a chimney. Well, we can, that could be seen as a hardship. We're trying to work within the boundaries.
Can we do then 21.6 or so that we get that half feet?
It's
Just
not-
consider 2 feet of chimney.
We're basing it off of math based off of what we can see on your lot. We're not trying to negotiate here. We're going off of hardline facts.
Okay.
Okay, you agree? Is that what you're saying?
21, yeah.
21.
Looks like.
So that's 13.6.
13.6.
Motion to approve the application of 3 Carter Road for a sideline variance of the left side of the house at 13.6 feet, which is against the density regulation, Schedule 5.2.0. The setback would be 13.6, I already repeated myself on that. And
I think that we should probably put the dimensions in, since we can't do it to the plan, since it says 23 feet. Should
the
probably do it
dimensions of
21,
21.6 feet,
21 feet
21 feet
by 24.
by 24 feet
By 24 in depth.
depth.
Yep.
And how do we word this with having to go to the other,
They're gonna
being
have
in compliance with other
They're gonna have to be anyway.
other boards? The building department's gonna run you through all that. I'm not even gonna make it
Yeah, I don't think
conditional on that. We don't think we need to.
How long does the variance hold for typically?
I'm sorry, say
You
that?
have to construct within a year.
Within a year? Okay.
Yeah, at least you have to get a building permit, right?
Yeah, get a past permit within a year.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Motion has been made and seconded for 3 Carter Road for a 13.6 foot sideline variance to construct a 21 foot by 24 foot in depth garage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ready, Paige?
All right, next hearing on our agenda tonight is 1 Raymond Road Extension. You can just come up here, and Mark, can you read that into the record before
Yes,
we
sir.
start?
It's a new hearing, 2311 One Raymond Road Extension for the petition of Marcia Allenbach.
Very good. Both names.
Good. For a property located at One Raymond Road Extension, applicant is seeking a variance for a proposed new addition on the left side of the property. The proposed new addition is in violation of Article 5, Section 5.2.0, density regulation schedule. Proposed new addition, location on the left side setback to be 12.4 inches.
Right. So,
Sorry, if you could just introduce yourself first, and then...
yes, Marcia Allenbach, 1 Raymond Road Extension. We've been here for 30 years. And it's not really the left side of the house, it's the back corner. And if you look at the plot plan, you can see where the deck is, and the deck, the far corner of the deck the deck will be replaced by the addition. So it will go back a little bit further. And the line of the land kind of just takes that little corner, right? So it's really literally from the corner of the table over to here that we're talking about. That's a variance. It's, a couple of square feet maybe in total. The hardship, I guess I could build out and then angle it and over, but that would be substantially more expensive than trying to just build a nice 90-degree corner. So I'm hopeful that you can just say, yeah, it's only a little bit.
Sure. Thanks. Joe, you want to start this one off?
Sure. Without seeing any rear elevations of the back, you couldn't slide that addition to 3 feet to the left?
So the.
Then you wouldn't
it-
need a
it's-
variance.
Right, right. So it's starting where the existing deck is, right? So it just would be a cleaner line to run the house back that way. I think it would be odd to have the house come out and then do a jig, so to speak. But right, certainly we could. It's not ideal. It would make the space seem odd. I think I would do the opposite. I would do straight out to the size of the deck and then kind of run it 90 degree, just cut off the edge.
Single-story addition?
It's a single-story addition. It'll be a family room, and then that's the existing space that it abuts is my kitchen dining room. So we'll open up that wall, so it'll
Is
be
there a neighbor on that side?
up on the hill. So I have some pictures that, I had some tree work done today, I didn't take anything down, I just did some trimming.
Yeah, because
But-
as you put if you keep it flush with the existing house, then you get your, 16, 18-inch overhang,
Right,
which is protruding even more over, and your water's going that way. Because you're gonna have an,
picture's going to go this way,
yeah, so you
right? So the
The
house,
ridge is gonna be in the
the
front.
ridge is this way on the existing house, on the addition, it'll go this way.
so half your roof is gonna go towards the variance, the other half will go towards your,
Yard.
middle of the house.
Yep. That was the thought.
Yeah, so by moving it over, you won't have that
Okay.
soffit issue, and it would tie in, how you gonna your roof line would tie
The
into
roof,
the
oh,
house.
you're saying the roof line would tie in with the
Yeah,
side of
you're
the house?
overhanging, you're 16 inches past your existing house now with your roof.
Yeah.
Soffit's gonna be overhanging that, and now you're gonna be protruding. Variance doesn't include the soffit, it's just the foundation, but,
Right, it's just
you
the
will be hanging
foundation
an
with
additional
asphalt.
16 inches over, roughly,
On that one little corner,
on that whole side, yeah.
right. So at where that corner is, it starts to go up a hill.
If I could jump in
gentle
for a
hill.
second, yeah, I
Yep.
drove by today, for a little bit. It looks like, from what I can see from the street, it looks like that left side of the house is like up higher than the rest of it. So I think that, is it Gayland Street?
Gayland, yeah,
That is, next to, so they're higher up. right?
Correct.
Yeah, they're up, and then in front of her is the cemetery, basically. So-
right.
Oh, yeah.
So the back door, right, I'm at the back door of the cemetery. So when you come out of there, you see me.
Interesting, I never realized that.
We try to keep it pretty, especially this time of year.
Yes, I did not drive down there. I've been down there, but I don't know where this lot is. I
Right,
didn't drive by.
so we're the last house before you go into the cemetery, to the gates there. But the abutting property, the only one that it's gonna impact is the fellow up top here. And he's taken and built a huge enclosed, I don't know if it was originally a driveway, but now it has like 10-foot gated space that his kids played hockey in when they were younger, and now it's for his dogs, right? So he's done that up there. It's like, okay. Now I just want to make my deck nice, which desperately needs to be done.
That's a single-story addition, right?
It is. It is.
So the house is a split?
The house is a split, yeah. And then, yeah. We had put on to the right years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah, so you got a slider on that end then coming off your kitchen down
That's
in
right,
area.
right. There's a slider there now, so if I did what you suggested,
You'd be
I'd
into
still
your
have to do something with
your
that slider,
yeah.
right? I'd be halfway into the slider. So I'd still have to do some kind of work there. But I definitely, I could go out a little ways and then do a jig. It just adds a lot of expense for such a small piece.
Politically correct, it's a jog. That's okay. I'm all set.
So you were here for the prior
I
application.
did.
Heard some of the back and forth that was going on in terms of what would be the hardship, right? Because you're looking essentially for the same type of variance that they're looking for, right? A side setback, right, which is.
Correct.
So, and I don't know whether you heard our conversation, but that was a rectangular lot, right?
Right, right. Mine is everything but rectangular. Mine's very odd.
That's, a really odd shaped
Yep,
lot.
it sure is. And I didn't put the original house there. I just have been living with it.
There would, I have, I think that the hardship is met based upon shape of the
Thank you.
lot. So I have no objection to the proposed variance.
All right, thank you. Jeff?
Just going through your previous building permits here, looks like you did the addition on the right, in 2001. You didn't need a variance for that. You're diligent with getting your permits and doing everything correctly. You have a lot listed here. What Mark said, yeah, you do have a very strange shaped lot. Actually, the question I had, it's saying concrete retaining wall. Is it dropping, is the lot dropping down if you're facing from the street on the right side?
So, right, on this, if you
Where the
look,
addition is the previous addition.
right.
It's down lower.
So if you
Grades
think of
lower.
my split, to get to the entrance level of the split, there's maybe 10 steps. The addition to the right is at ground level, right? So it's, the bottom floor of my house flows neatly into that addition. There's one step there. So that's all at ground level. So on the second level of my split is just the bedrooms, the bathroom, and the kitchen area, and this would expand out back. So it's really built into the incline there.
Which is another potential hardship to this particular lot.
It's a quirky lot, right?
Strange.
Yeah, definitely is a quirky lot. I have pictures I took today if that helps you, but
You're putting a full foundation?
no,
This-
I was just gonna put the tubes in,
It's on piers, okay.
yeah.
It's not changing,
Not changing the water flow,
no.
right? No, we're kind of tree
Yeah.
huggers.
I have,
The idea, too much.
I have no other questions.
Thanks, Jeff. Jeremy?
I have no questions.
All right, I have a couple, well, I guess not really, just some comments. Most of my questions are asked and answered already. Yeah, you definitely have a hardship with the shape and topography of the land. My opinion, it doesn't derogate from the intent of the bylaw either, because there's still plenty of space between the abutting houses, and it certainly doesn't hinge on the public good. So I don't really have any problems or concerns with it. I would just say if somebody does make a motion after we go through the public hearing and all that, that we should probably state in the motion that it's a single story, since we don't have actual plans to do it to. Are there any other comments, or should I open it up to the public?
Open it up.
Okay, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody here to speak for or against the applicant, please come up to the microphone. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any other questions, comments, motions?
Make a motion to approve the side setback variance for 1 Raymond Road extension of 12.4 feet on the plan identified, plot of plan land, what is it, I'm sorry. Oh, March 6, dated March 6, 2023. And I note the chair has said we should amend that motion to make sure that we say it was a single-story
Addition.
addition.
Seconded.
All right, motion has been made and seconded for 1 Raymond Road extension for a single-story addition. To have a side setback of 12.4 feet as shown on plot plan submitted with the application dated March 6th, 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, did everybody get the minutes?
Yes. It took 3 hours to read them.
It was a lot. No comments? Is there a motion to approve them?
Motion to approve the minutes for May 2nd, 2023.
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes for May 2nd, 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other business?
No other business. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.